Good morning. My name is Scott Harper, president of the Greater Conroe, Lake Conroe Area Chamber of Commerce. I would like to welcome you to our show today, Mind Your Business, where your host, Cassandra Rosen, our Director of Membership Development, will sit down with our great chamber members and talk history, community involvement, and share some what's new info about their company or organization. I hope you enjoy the show.
Good morning and welcome to Mind Your Business, the monthly radio show where I sit down with the local business leaders of the community and get the inside scoop of who they are, what they do, and what has made their company successful. I'm your host, Cassandra Rosen, the Director of Membership Development for the Greater Conroe, Lake Conroe Area Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber is a nonprofit organization with the mission of serving the Conroe, Willis, Montgomery, and the Woodlands communities to improve economic development and quality of life. The Chamber is made up of over 1,000 members of these business communities. The Chamber provides members various networking events, educational seminars, cost-effective marketing opportunities, as well as finds ways to give back to the communities we serve. The Chamber has been in business for over 80 years. And of course, we have another lineup today that you won't want to miss. Our first guest is Melissa Rascon with the Rascon CPA firm. So how are you this morning, Melissa?
Hello, Cassandra. I'm doing well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to come up and spend a little bit of time with us.
Oh, no, then thank you for inviting me. Glad to be here.
And I know, you have a lot going on, especially since you just started your own CPA firm, right?
Yes, I did about in December.
Yeah, so you're hitting the ground hard and getting that all rocking and rolling, huh?
Yes.
Well, before we get into a little bit about what the Rascon CPA firm does, tell us about yourself. Where are you from? How long have you been here?
Okay, great. Yes, I'm from El Paso originally. I'm born and raised there. I lived in Dallas for a few years, and then I went back home to attend family events. But then I decided to move back out to Houston once my son graduated from high school. So I've been out in Houston for about 7 years now.
Oh, wow. So you were up in Dallas, you said, for a couple of years?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Dallas?
It's probably a little more stuffy out there than it is here.
I've been there twice. Once when I drove through Dallas to move to Texas from Minnesota. And then also I went to the state fair there my first year here.
Right.
Dallas is just an interesting place.
Yeah, I liked it, but I'm much more comfortable here in Houston. I love the weather here. I know everyone gripes about the humidity, but I love it. I love the humidity, and I think it helps us have better winters because I hate the cold.
Yeah, well, we did have a little bit more of a, harsh winter this year as opposed to...
Oh, I know.
Which I'm used to. I thought it wasn't that big a deal. I loved it. But I understand native Houstonians may not feel the same way. But so then you must love a day like today because it's crazy humid out.
I love it. Oh. I love it out there today.
My hair doesn't, so I'm not a humidity fan. But that's okay. And so what kind of led you to becoming a CPA? And what is a CPA?
Right. Well, what led me to become one, I kind of fell into it. I didn't go to college right after high school. And when I was in high school, I had joined, in my senior year, one of those half work, half school day programs where I was working in the office half the day. And then after that, I just kind of went to work as a receptionist. And then I fell into accounts receivable clerk. And they were really impressed. My boss was really impressed with my work that they had offered me, to pay for me to attend take an accounting class at the local community college. And so that was really when I first thought, well, maybe I really like this, or I'm pretty good at it. And so it wasn't really until I left that company a few years later to become the receptionist of a CPA firm in the area that I saw what CPAs are and what they do, and decided that's the job for me, and quit my job and went to school full time.
Oh, wow. And for those that don't know, what does CPA stand for?
Certified Public Accountant. And that you have to have a certain number of hours of school, a bachelor's degree, and also a number of master's master's accounting classes behind that to be able to sit for the CPA exam.
Right, because and that test is pretty
It's pretty
intense.
grueling. Yeah. Back when I took it, it was 2 days that we had to pass 4 parts. And there was really, really grueling.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it is today, because I think they could take a part here, a part there online. So
really?
To me, I'm like, man, that's easy.
Right. Because I know when I was in college, my first degree is in history. So I was doing all like the kind of philosophical type classes and things like that, reading, researching, all everything like that. But then all my friends, they were in business classes. One of my friends became a CPA. She's a CPA. She's not doing that currently, but she just wanted to have that behind her name. And I just know, she could never go out with us when she was studying for that. And I felt like for a whole year, she was just off the grid because she had to study so much.
The beauty of it, or the trick of it, that I was fortunate to have been given a lot of advice while I was in college was study now. Do all your studying now, so that when you graduate college, you don't have to cram for the exam. And that I was a 4.0 student, so I was when it got down to cramming for the exam, which I didn't have time, because when I started work, I was working during tax season. And so I took about 3 weeks off prior to the exam, and I just studied day in and day out. And even with all the studying I did and walking away with a 4.0, I still had to refresh my memory. And then they test you on updated laws. So even if what you studied was up to date, whatever happened after that, you have to make sure you get acquainted with,
because I'm sure it changes all the time.
Oh yes, it's a forever ending continuing
continuing education, exactly. But it makes sense, that you need to stay current with all of that information, because if you're dealing with people's money, you want to make sure you're doing it correctly. That's pretty important. And so again, we were saying before, you started the Rascon CPA firm from scratch. So talk about the process of starting your own company and what challenges you faced and the rewards that you now see.
Okay, great. Well, it's, I finally stepped into the role of entrepreneur, so I can really identify with my clients who are entrepreneurs. And the process of starting your own company, I would say first and foremost is having the passion to do it, and the tenacity and the perseverance, and really walk into it with an attitude that failure is not an option. That's really first and foremost, in starting a business, is to carry all those things and really be connected with yourself emotionally and spiritually to take on that role. And then the next step would be to develop a business plan and really look at how you're going to go out there, market yourself, how much it would take to get started, and to make the most out of what you have. So really you learn to maximize what you can put into it and make the most out of everything.
Yeah. And so tell us a little bit more about, as far as the business plan, kind of side goes in marketing yourself. What do you do to market yourself and your company?
Right. And it takes there are multiple levels of marketing. There's the inbound and the outbound marketing, which is what I've been learning about a lot, not just for myself, but also with my clients. Yeah. And it's networking and building relationships with your network, and also potential clients and the clients that you bring in. And that's pretty significant to me, is building that relationship with those that you interconnect with. And that's key to really getting out there and marketing. But also, the social media, staying on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and letting everyone know that you're around, and that and post tax updates, updates with your firm, even brag about your clients. I'm a very big fan of liking my clients' Facebook pages and sharing what they're doing as well.
Yeah, important, giving back in that respect.
Right.
Then they see a value in it just through that side of it. Absolutely.
Yes.
And so, I know you talked about what a CPA is and what that stands for, but what are the services that you provide with your firm?
We provide, I just want to real quickly, though, touch on the challenges.
Please do.
Really quick on that we face. I think it's time, trying to manage your time, because as an entrepreneur, you wear so many hats.
Right. You have to do it all.
You're the marketer, you're the business developer, you're the CPA, you're the bookkeeper, you're sometimes the counselor. And so it's really significant to try to balance that time, because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket and really market and bring in all these clients and then do lousy work because you're so focused on other things. And so that's really the biggest challenge, I think, for any entrepreneur, is how to balance their time and moving forward.
Right, absolutely. Because like you're saying, you really have to do it all.
Right.
And so if you spend too much time in one area, then other areas are going to suffer.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that when you meet an entrepreneur, they probably are sleep deprived because we don't get 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for me to sleep at night because I go to bed,
thinking of what you have to do.
Right before I go to bed, I look at what I have the next day, what I've done for the day. And then when I wake up first thing in the morning, I do the same thing. I review what I'm going to do for the day. And your mind is always moving as to what you need to do next. But it's so rewarding, though, because when you get your clients to respond to you and you really provide good service and you see their satisfaction on their face and moving them forward, it's very rewarding.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because you made that happen. That's great. So again, tell us a little bit about the services that you provide with the Rascon CPA firm.
Yeah, we provide tax return preparation for individuals, small to medium-sized businesses, nonprofits. We also provide bookkeeping services and payroll services, and we also provide consultation services to our entrepreneurs and tax planning as well for our individuals. But we primarily really want to focus on helping entrepreneurs take their business to the next level. And so we really want to sit down with our business owners and help them build that business plan, whether it's in the marketing aspect of it, the product development, looking at their numbers every month to talk about what they mean and really focus on that.
Yeah, well, now you have firsthand experience in that.
Yeah.
So you can give them some great advice. Awesome.
Right.
And what would you say sets you apart from other CPA companies?
I think that what sets us apart is that we really are focused on helping our clients grow and moving to the next level. And we are not just a tax return preparation firm. We really want to help you understand your numbers and get to the next level of your business, because we know what that means, how exhilarating it is to see your business grow. And we really want to help you get to that next point.
Yeah, so you're in it not just for yourself, you're in it for them too.
Oh, I'm here for them. I'm here for my clients.
Yeah.
Just plain and simple.
That's great. That's great. And before we get to a short break, tell us, and I'm sure there's a lot here, but what are some of the ways that your industry has changed over time?
Oh gosh, I think the biggest thing I can point out is that everyone who thinks of a CPA sees us as a bean counter who's an introvert and not very sociable. And I
know that's not true about you.
I don't think you can survive in today's time if you don't have a sociable personality.
Yeah.
I mean, you really have to get out there and network with the community, your clients, and your professional network. It's so imperative. And I love people, so it really helps me out to get out there and network and communicate and just interact, and really understand what's going on with your clients and your professional network, just so you could really be a productive member of society, really. But
Awesome.
And also what this is probably obvious to everyone's industry is the internet and social media is changing the dynamics of how we run our business.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think there are CPA firms that are now hiring people in different areas of the United States just to help them out. I mean, and it's easy to do that, to hire resources that do not have to be in your office to help provide the services needed.
Especially with the social media side and all of that.
Skyping.
Like you said, that's a very important aspect.
I mean, like the day on our snow days that we had, I was my in-person meetings turned into Skype meetings. So that's the beauty of the technology we have today.
Exactly.
Makes us more resourceful.
Absolutely. Well, awesome. Well, like I said, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will talk a little bit more with Melissa about community involvement and get some business advice. So stay with us.
Hi, I'm Joyce with the Corner Pub in downtown Conroe. We're located at the corner of Simonton and North Main, just across the street from the courthouse. The week starts off Monday with open mic, hosted by Alan, and Tuesday nights open mic, hosted by Jeremy Bankhead. And on Thursday evening, McFarland Jams. There's nightly drink specials available every night, all night. And don't forget, live entertainment every weekend. To see a full list of events, visit our website at thecornerpubinconroe.com. So come join us at the Corner Pub, where the deli is open late.
Hey y'all, grab your boots and hats on February 22nd. It's time for the 49th annual Go Texan Parade at 1 p.m. in downtown Conroe. This year's parade theme, Salute to Our Scholars, will feature entries from local schools, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and political candidates. So join us at 1 p.m. in downtown Conroe on February 22nd for the 49th annual Go Texan Parade.
Hello, this is Dennis Nelson, inviting you to come with me through the doorway of imagination and into the theater of the mind. The Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour presents a play every Saturday night at 7 p.m. on Lone Star Internet Radio. Be it drama or comedy, thriller or love story, every exciting episode is carefully chosen straight from the golden age of radio and performed live by talented actors, musicians, and sound effects crew. Every sound you hear will be 100% live and homemade. Anything can happen. So join us, please, every Saturday night at 7 p.m. for the Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio.
Welcome back to Mind Your Business, the monthly radio show where I, your host, Cassandra Roshan, the Director of Membership Development for the Greater Conroe, Lake Conroe Area Chamber of Commerce, interview chamber members to find out who they are, what they do, and what has made them successful in their business. We have Melissa Rascon with the Rascon CPA firm here, and we just heard a little bit about her and how she got into the business and how she went about starting her own company. So she's quite the entrepreneur. And so now we're going to get a little bit into the community relations side. Melissa, I know that you are very involved in the community because we actually met through Leadership Montgomery County, which is all about knowing the community and how to have an impact in the community.
Right, and how to get more involved, and that was fascinating.
It was. I mean, because I know, now granted I didn't, grow up here, but my job is to know the community.
Right.
And so being involved in Leadership Montgomery County, I learned so much that I had no idea about. So it's a really cool program.
Yes, because it walked us through the government side and the, I guess, the public side of it, and really introduced us to what's going on there.
Yeah, because there's different sessions. There's healthcare, like you're saying, education, economic development, government. So you really walk out very well-rounded about how the county works.
Right.
There's a lot more to it than me.
I know.
That's for sure.
But it also gives you opportunities to see where to get involved. So education is very important to me. So I want to get more involved in that aspect of the community.
Yeah.
And I have a foundation too that raises money for scholarships for college students with disabilities.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. How long have you had that?
For about a year and a half.
That's great. I did not know that. I learned something new. So kind of talking about what we were saying, why do you feel it's important to support and give back to the community?
It's not about us. It's about serving the community and serving everyone around you. That's why we're here. And so I'm very passionate about giving back and giving whatever I can to help out in the community, because it's our community.
Right.
We all live here and we're all a part of it. So it brings me great peace to work with the community and help those out. Yeah.
And I mean, I always tell people the only way that our community is going to thrive is if we put the work into it.
Right.
We are, like you were saying, we are what makes it successful. And I think that's why Montgomery County does so well, is because, we have that foundation here where people believe in that philosophy.
Yes, there's so many people out there. It's just amazing who want to be involved in the community and want to do something and give their part. And that's how we have certain, everything that happens in this community, from the Cinco de Mayo Fiesta in the Woodlands, or the even Ironman or the marathons.
Yeah.
I mean, none of that would happen without the people
right.
getting involved.
Absolutely. Well, and even for the Ironman, I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of volunteers that have to go in to put that event together. That's crazy.
And and in turn, when you get involved in the community, it's inevitable you're gonna find people who need your services or your products of whatever business that you have. So it just it just kind of comes full circle.
Yeah, you get back what you give.
Right.
Absolutely. And so talk a little bit about some of the organizations that you're a part of. Obviously, you're a member of the Greater Conroe Lake Conroe Chamber of Commerce, but I know you're involved in other organizations as well.
Yes, and I'm also involved in the Woodlands Chamber, and I'm on a couple of committees there with the Economic Outlook Conference.
Oh, awesome.
I was a board member of the Montgomery County Hispanic Chamber, and I'm on a couple of other advisory boards for the Lone Star College Women's Advisory Conference Advisory Board, and we have a conference coming up in April.
Oh.
So that would be a really great
there.
thing to go to for to listen to women leadership.
So talk a little bit more about that, what that conference is about, and if people are interested in attending or getting involved, what should they do?
Yes, I can't remember the website offhand, but it is through the Lone Star College Women's Leadership Conference, and it is being given in April at the Lone Star College System office, and it's a pretty much a full day from like 8 to 1, and it's we have about 3 to 5 speakers lined up to talk that day, and they are very, very motivational, inspirational speeches that will get women out there to really understand what their role is in their life and in their business.
And I think it's so important to attend things like that, because you get so caught up in the day-to-day that you need to kind of get out of the business and refresh.
Yes.
So I think, like you were saying, with the different speakers that are motivational, and they'll help you push that refresh button and get back in and motivated and ready to get going in the business again.
Yes, and you walk away feeling that. I mean, you do walk away feeling that, and it's on a Friday, so it's a perfect day to walk away feeling I'm gonna do this, that, and the other for myself.
Yeah, awesome. Well, great. We'll look forward to details on that, because that'll be a great event. So let's get into some business advice. Like we were saying before, you started the Rascon CPA firm from scratch, all on your own. So what, in your opinion, has led to the success of the company so far?
Building relationships. I mean, it really comes down to that, and doing great work, obviously, but getting out there and building relationships with your clients and the community and those that you network. I joked the other day that I might need to hire someone to manage my own calendar, because I'm booked almost every day, and I also am booked with working on my clients on stuff. So, but primarily it is just that, just building relationships with your clients, and really, if you really are passionate about what you do and are sincere about what you're doing, it's going to come through, and everyone will feel it. And so when you build those relationships, it just comes back full circle. Yeah.
Well, you get back what you give. Exactly.
Right.
And we were talking before about how there's a lot of different CPA, companies and firms out there, and you were talking a little bit about what the Rascon CPA firm does. But with so much competition out there, how do you stay relevant and ahead of the curve?
I think the way we're positioning ourselves to be consultants for entrepreneurs. I mean, I really want to be known as the entrepreneur consultant who wants your business to grow, because I do. And I work with my clients that I have brought on to help them grow. I mean, I've sat down with them to help them develop their plans to move forward, and I can see the excitement on their face, and I know that they're very excited to go out there and implement what we talk about, and also to help them understand what the numbers mean. I get a lot of clients that come to me and say, well, my CPA just prepares my tax return, and that's really it. Well, I don't do that. I sit down with them and I explain what these numbers mean. And depending on the industry, if they have a bookkeeper, I will work with them on how to book those numbers so that they could really understand, the return on investment of some of what they're putting into the company, and what's working and what's not. And so that it's not just, here are your numbers, looking pretty good. We'll compare the actuals to your forecast. We'll talk about what went wrong or what went right that month, and how we can move forward accordingly.
Yeah, it's obviously very important to understand the numbers so you know, like you're saying, if you're doing is working, if it's not working. And I think a lot of times people, fall into the trap of, well, the CPA said the numbers are good, that's great. But well, what does that mean? What does it mean
they
to
may be right. The
Yeah.
numbers may be right, but are they, they're right on paper with respect to the source documents, but what do they really mean?
Yeah, in practice,
according to your forecast or where you want to go, and also the marketing you put in. Is I also help my clients build a marketing plan with their social media and their outbound marketing, and really try to target the clients or customers that they're looking for. We have those open, candid conversations.
Yeah, that's important to do so you can, like you were saying, continue to grow and move forward.
Right.
And so with starting your own company, I mean, business is full of successes and then learning opportunities. So for you, what's been the biggest success and then also the biggest learning opportunities so far?
Oh, gosh. The learning opportunity, I'll start with that, is just, I think, balancing my time. I've said it before, but it really is such a learning opportunity to really make your time effective in whatever it is you choose to do. And so you really cannot go out there and just waste your time on stuff. You really have to understand where you're putting your time. And if you're working on a big project, to set time aside every day to touch on that little project because you really need for it to happen. But also just, balancing your client. You don't want your client work to suffer, but you don't want the marketing to scale back either. So that's the biggest learning for me. And then the biggest success is just, having satisfied clients and getting clients referred to me. I take my referrals very seriously, and it's very rewarding for me to get a referral that someone thought of me enough to give my name. So I work extra hard. Not that I don't work hard on my other clients, but when I get referrals, it's an extra satisfaction for me that I really got to do well.
Right, because someone that whether it be a client or a friend or family member, said, I know her, I trust her, she does a great job, and she did the same for you. So you want to prove that.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
definitely.
it's very important.
And before we wrap up, tell us one piece of business advice that you feel it's important for every business owner to know.
Oh, wow.
I know there's so much.
Strive what you're going after with passion, and really go after what you're doing with the attitude that failure is not an option, and give yourself some downtime. Don't burn yourself out. That you can take some time for you and just kind of breathe in and out, and go out there and do what you love doing. If it's walking the dogs, playing a day of golf, do something for yourself in the process. But really go into this with the passion and the attitude that your failure is not an option. You love what you're doing, and
Absolutely.
There's really no. You will get to that other side.
Awesome.
And always think big.
Yeah.
Don't focus
don't
on the
limit
day to
yourself.
day.
Yeah.
Don't focus on the day to day. Focus on where you're going and make decisions on that every day.
Awesome. Well, great advice. Thank you so much, Melissa. Again, this was Melissa Rascon with the Rascon CPA firm. If someone is looking for your services or wants to get a hold of you, how do they contact you?
Sure. You can call me at 832. Oh, shoot.
What's my number?
482-4611.
You don't call yourself. So
I know.
That happens to me
number?
all the time. All the time. Well, great. And then you can also go to our website, conroe.org, in the business directory, and look up the Rascon CPA firm, and all of her information is on the website, too. So
Thank you so much,
no
Cassandra.
problem. That's what I'm here for. Well, again, thank you, Melissa, for spending this time with me. And we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we will be with Clyde from Easco to talk about all of your heating, air conditioning needs, because it's hot out there. So stay with us.
Conroe Live is a nonprofit entity whose purpose is for the enhancement of the arts, entertainment, and historical values in historic downtown Conroe. Recent programs include centennial celebrations for several buildings reconstructed after the Great Fire of 1911, the upcoming Historicade celebrating the history of downtown area, an art bench program consisting of 13 art benches depicting history, Talk Up Conroe, a program benefiting cancer programs using sidewalk chalk, a tree planting program along the railroad tracks, along the historical areas in the downtown, and generation of approximately $250,000 for the Owen Theater for improvements. Future projects include downtown historical markers, a pedestrian mall on Simonton Street, walking history programs, and more. For information, visit their website at www.conroliveinc.org.
Tune in at 3 o'clock every Wednesday for Aperture and Shutter Speed with me, Tom Moore of TR Moore Photos.
And me, Dick.
If you are an amateur or expert, or if you haven't ever picked up an SLR camera before, Aperture and Shutter Speed is a show for anyone who loves photography and film.
Join the conversation with us by calling in or emailing us your questions. If you want to know what's coming up on Aperture and Shutter Speed, just look up our show page on irlonestar.com or look us up on Facebook.
Join us every Wednesday at 3 p.m. for Aperture and Shutter Speed, and remember,
take your lens cap off.
And welcome back to Mind Your Business, the monthly radio show where I, your host, Cassandra Roshan, the Director of Membership Development for the Greater Conroe, Lake Conroe Area Chamber of Commerce, interview chamber members to find out who they are, what they do, and what has made them successful in their business. We just heard from Melissa Rascon with the Rascon CPA firm, and now we are here with Clyde Turanian, who is the founder and CEO of Easco. How are you doing, Clyde?
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you for having us on the show. Hey, wait a minute. I hope that was a valet. He's taking my truck. Wait a minute. The truck with the duck.
The truck with the duck.
That was a valet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We have a valet, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Good to be here. Clyde with Easco, just stirring it up a little bit.
Well, you always do, and you do a great job of that. You were recently volunteering at our home and garden show, and I was impressed. You always stir things up. You're great at getting people involved, and even your commercials at the breakfast, you always have a little twist to them. I love it.
Have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, you're always entertaining.
Thank you.
We know that something special's coming up whenever
and
you're
we
ready.
had fun with the show.
Good.
And we will today too. So.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Listeners, don't touch that dial. Don't touch that mouse.
Exactly. So, like we were saying, you're with Easco, but tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the company. Where are you originally from, and how long have you been here? About your family.
Sure, be glad to. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, and was raised in Michigan, beautiful state of Michigan, and I had attended Ferris University up there, which has the premier HVAC program in the country. However, the weather was too brutal and the motorcycle season was too short.
That it is.
So I put my motorcycle in the back of a truck and headed out of Michigan, and I'm glad I ended up in Texas, where I've been blessed and been very thankful. My wife and I have been married 22 years.
Congratulations.
And, the first 10 years were bliss. And then the next few years are more work, but it gets better and better and better. Mm-hmm. We have 4 children together. The baby is Faith. Then Eden is now a teenager. Caleb, you met at the Home and Garden Show.
Yeah.
And Joshua. So we're very proud of them and looking forward to all that their future holds.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to say, I knew you had a big family, and I know I've met Caleb, who is just wonderful, and I think I've met your daughter, too, before, too, Faye. She was so sweet.
Thank you.
And so then, what led you to starting a heating and air conditioning company? I mean, obviously you were cold up in Michigan, but beyond that, why did you get in the business?
Great question. I've been in the industry for many, many years, and we just celebrated this year, our 30th year in business.
Wow, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. So I did not relocate because I needed a job. I had plenty of work. It was a climate change. Mm-hmm. And so what led me to start an air conditioning company was a couple of reasons. One is to not reinvent the wheel, but to improve it, improve the mousetrap, so to speak. And I had a lot of interest in renewable energy and solar, geothermal, and so Easco is an acronym for Energy Alternative Service Company.
Oh.
But in the early 80s, people weren't thinking that way.
Right.
And January 1984, was not the time to start an air conditioning business. I'll expand on that in just a minute. But the second reason I went into business was to be available for youth in the inner city. Did church work there, and it allowed my schedule to be, freed up to be able to reach out and make a difference.
Yeah. So, because I know and I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that later when we get to the community part, but I know you're very involved in the community, all over the area. So I'm excited to hear a little bit more about that as well. But talk about the process of starting your own company from scratch, just like Melissa. She started it all on her own. She was an entrepreneur just like yourself. So what are some of those challenges that you had to face, and what were the rewards of those challenges?
Great questions again. First of all, I would say don't start it like I did. I started an air conditioning business in January. You don't start an air conditioning company in January, but took a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And it was great. What I did was step out. I had $700 in the bank. My house note was $714. And just from quality, character, mores, values, integrity, stayed honest with it, and it's reaped a great benefit. Been able to help a lot of people through what we call ministry in the marketplace, and just an opportunity to help people of all different walks of life and businesses and homeowners alike. So
yeah.
What I would say is plan a little bit more. Don't set a vague goal of you want to own a business someday, or you want to run a business someday. If you do, the business will run you. So the better choice is get some training, and we'll talk more on that later.
Absolutely. So then what have been the biggest rewards of having your own company so far?
Helping people, changing lives, restoring health with the indoor air quality products we have. People are breathing easier. They're, it's literally saving their life.
Well, and there's in the Texas, in this area, there's so much, pollution and pollen and stuff in the air that I'm sure that's got to be a big thing for you. It is.
The EPA says that indoor air pollution can be up to 100 times worse than outdoor air pollution.
I did not know that.
And what are we breathing? So we're here with as indoor air quality experts. We don't just filter the air. We purify it if it's dirty. We circulate it if it's stagnant. We dehumidify it if it's humid, like today.
Yeah.
We cool it if it's hot. We heat it if it's cool. We ventilate if it needs to be fresh air. We do all of these things, and always with the customer's best interest in mind.
Wow. So anything revolving around air, it's right up your alley, huh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And so then you're kind of talking about it before. What are some of the different services that you provide at Easco?
Of course, central air conditioning and heating for both businesses and homes. And along with that, we do not only do we offer the highest efficiencies of systems, we can offer comfort to a greater degree than ever before. We can install a system that will keep precision temperature to a half a degree in the house.
Oh, wow.
We can balance a home. We constantly are looking at a way to even the temperatures in a home through zoning, through ductless mini split systems. We are a Dave Lennox premier dealer, as well as offer Trane and Mitsubishi products, and we all about comfort.
So a question about the air pollution part again, because I'm really intrigued by this now. So when you go in and you test the air quality, do you find, like, how do you even go about testing that? Are you like checking the filters and they're just completely filthy, or how does that work?
Well, that's a great question. Filtration is an art in itself. What you see on the shelf, what we've been using for years, has been inadequate. So if a filter is only 15% efficient, then 85% of the dirt has gone through. Most of it has gone through to the equipment, and then mixed with moisture in a dark place, microbial contamination. It's like a 9th grade biology project.
Yeah.
So we go right to the equipment. We do cleaning of the equipment. We make sure the air is filtered properly. And many people throw money at the problem later. They call us and say, will you clean our ducts? We can clean the ductwork, but we want to go to the source of the problem. And we even have filtering products that'll keep the equipment clean and protect the lungs. Of course, reduce the dust in the house.
Yeah, which is important. I don't even want to know what the pollution level in my house is now. I'm a little nervous. I'll have to have you check that out. So what kind of sets you guys apart from other HVAC companies? Because there's a lot of them out there.
That's true. Our people. Our people care. We have a passion for what we do. I love what I do. I help people. I was raised with allergies. I've had allergists tell me that I was allergic to breathing and laugh. And so when it came to filtration, it meant a lot to me. Indoor air quality means a lot to me. So I'd have to say our passion for the industry, our people, we care about people. We care about their health, their comfort, their safety in their home, and also helping them save money. Old, inefficient air conditioning equipment costs money to operate. It's wasting money. And, of course, we have the newer environmental products. They're safe, they're efficient, and they're quiet. That is one of the greatest things that we have with equipment, that noise pollution can go away, too, with the new high-efficiency system.
Yeah, well, and you guys, as far as service goes, you guys do an excellent job. You service the air conditioning units and heating as well at the chamber. And, everyone that comes in, whether it's you or anyone on your staff, they're always wonderful. And Gina and I had some problems learning how to operate the system, and your people walked us through how to do it correctly a couple different times. So they are very patient and kind and understanding as well.
Very good. And that's a privilege as well, to serve the chamber and the community. But what we find is that most people need an education. They look at a thermostat on a wall and think that's all there is, or the outdoor unit, but there's a lot more to the system.
Right.
So if a customer wants, we'll give them as much information as they want. Of course, I have my degree, but I also teach and train in our industry. I chair an advisory committee for Lone Star College. I have that privilege, and many other aspects of the industry. So.
That's great. Yeah, you're always giving back all the time, Clyde. I love it.
Thank you.
And how would you say your industry has changed over time? I know you kind of talked a little bit about the different, more economic and environmentally sound systems. And so talk a little bit more about how the industry has changed.
Tremendous changes constantly, not only on Wall Street, but that is what took place several years ago. Many companies were bought by consolidators. Wall Street got involved in the air conditioning industry, which has changed the complexion quite a bit. Changes in technology, government and environmental issues. In 2006, after serving on the board for the Air Conditioning Contractors of America, Houston chapter, I then became the president. And as president, we watched the transition to the higher efficiency from the 10 SEER to the 13 SEER minimum rating. What that means is, for every dollar you spend on air conditioning, how much does it cost you to get that amount of cooling, and is it efficient or not? So we know of the 13 SEER, and there's more acronyms in our industry than just about anyone, but EER and SEER. But really, that is about to change too. In January 2015, 13 will go away, and 14 will be the minimum SEER.
Wow.
So changes all the time. We've seen changes in the environmental product. The R410A is the newer refrigerant of choice, and the R22 chlorine molecule refrigerant has been in a phase-out process, and that would show up if you had to make a repair or have any improvements done to your system. So from a learning curve standpoint, we understand the changes that are always coming. We ride the wave, but we never want to introduce our customers to technology that hasn't been proven.
Right. Yeah. Make sure that it works before you tell them to use it. That's important.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
important. And before we take a short break, tell us a little bit about the focus areas for Easco currently, and then what are your future plans for Easco?
Okay, great questions. Focus would be right now on the city multi, where we go into commercial applications, and we can perform zoning applications and retrofits. In other words, one outdoor unit can feed up to 16 indoor units, and each would have their own zone. For instance, in this commercial area here, each lease space would have their own thermostat, and you'd have energy savings unheard of. Just amazing technology that is available to us. Also, of course, geothermal and the solar. We have solar-assisted air conditioning. We've installed many of these systems.
Oh, that's great.
And that is helpful. Again, that's living up to our name, Easco, Energy Alternative Service Company.
Right.
And so those are some of the things that we're very involved with.
That's awesome. I like the solar. I'm a big fan of solar energy personally, so I like that.
As long as it's cost effective,
yeah,
that's where we would apply it.
Right. That's great. Well, thank you. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to learn more about how Clyde is involved in the community, and then, of course, get some business advice. So stay with us.
Tune in to Montgomery County Live every Sunday at 6 p.m. here on Lone Star Internet Radio, where we will be featuring artists' live performances at local venues around the Montgomery County area. Check out irlonestar.com for the Montgomery County Live lineup. If you want to be part of one of our recordings, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for upcoming concerts. Lone Star Internet Radio is dedicated to serving Montgomery County.
Income tax time is here. If you earned less than $52,000 in 2013, Montgomery County United Way and Entergy, Texas want you to know how to get your taxes prepared absolutely free. Beginning February 1st, the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, known as VITA, will provide professionally trained volunteers to prepare your return in a way that is safe, free, and confidential. And they will help you see if you qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit. That could mean up to $6,000 in your pocket and in our community. Montgomery County United Way improves lives of all our residents by mobilizing the caring power of our community. We want all our neighbors to have the opportunity to live healthy lifestyles, have access to education, and to improve your financial independence. This tax season, don't pay hundreds of dollars to have your taxes done. Locate a VITA site in Montgomery County by logging on to mcuw.org or find a site near where you live or work by calling 211. And please remember, give, advocate, and volunteer. Together, that is how we improve lives and live united.
At Jazzy Junk, volunteers reclaim, restore, and recycle. Jazzy Junk is a non-profit resale storefront where you will discover wonderful, unique finds at very affordable prices on furniture, antiques, books, art, home decor, and more. When you shop Jazzy Junk, you support New Danville, a community for adults with developmental disabilities. We receive new donations daily, so plan a visit to Jazzy Junk today to find that perfect item or gift. Our motto is here today, gone today, so remember to hurry in and shop often for the best selection. Jazzy Junk is located in the outlets at Conroe on League Line Road and I-45 North. Call 936-441-4500 or visit our website, jazzyjunk.org, that's JUNQUE, for more information and store hours.
And welcome back to Mind Your Business, the monthly radio show where I, your host, Cassandra Roshan, the Director of Membership Development for the Greater Conroe Lake Conroe Area Chamber of Commerce, interview chamber members to find out who they are, what they do, and what has made them successful in their business. We are here with Clyde Turanian, the owner and CEO, the founder, the everything of Easco. And he just let us know a little bit about him and how he got into HVAC. So he's very involved in the community, so we're going to learn a little bit more about that. Clyde, tell us, why do you feel it's important to support and give back to the community?
Great question. A lot of questions stem around that. Clyde, you're so active. Why do you do what you do? Part of it may be my upbringing. Coming from Detroit and those suburbs and what took place in those years, 60s, 70s, so much change, radical change. Everything from the race riots and panic in the streets to looting. We don't even know what that's like today, to see basically martial law and things getting out of control like that. And so it happens when there's slack. I mean, if people just don't care, one thing leads to another. And so I know that the action of one person can make a difference in another person's life and in community. When we can get together and make a difference together, the synergy's great.
Yeah. All being involved in the community and working together to make that change. And I know you're part of the chamber, the Greater Conroe Lake Conroe Chamber of Commerce. You actually sit on our board of directors, and you're involved with our volunteer diplomats as well. And that's just with our chamber, nonetheless with every other organization. So what are some of the other organizations that you're a part of?
Well, we're members of the Walker County, Huntsville, Chamber of Commerce as well as the Woodlands Chamber of Commerce. But something I have learned is it's one thing to be in an organization. It's something else to have that organization in you.
Yeah.
I'm very active in our church. I'm proud to say we attend Family Faith Church in Willis, Texas. And it makes a difference. It makes a difference in the lives of people. And I do have this chamber in me, and I can't help but want to give back. And I'm proud to be a part of this organization. I also serve an advisory committee for WMF and again, involved with some other organizations as well.
And one organization I want to talk about that you actually you brought this organization to the chamber, and we've been involved with them since, is the Dream Center. So talk about your involvement with them and how you got involved there.
Absolutely. It was interesting how I came across the Dream Center. One person told me about it, and from that referral, I looked into it, and I found out of the great work that they were doing in the former hospital in Conroe. And so when I had a closer look at the lives they were touching and changing lives in that area, I couldn't help but get involved. We donated equipment. We've helped them try to take that, or not try to, they're doing a great job of that, of working with that building and working with the lives of people. And so I'm very, very proud to be friends with the leadership there, owners there.
Yeah, they do a great job over there. So we're happy to have them part of the chamber, and so we can help and support them as well.
Yes, ma'am.
And so with all the organizations that you're a part of, I know you kind of touched on some of it, but how did you become involved with these organizations? What led you to them?
Okay, not the trade-affiliated ones right now, but just the organizations in the community, such as this chamber. I got more involved with this Lake Conroe Chamber through a golf tournament. And we were in a fundraising golf tournament, and I rode in a cart with our president, and I had some ideas, and he was very open to the ideas. And this is what I like about this chamber. There's a lot of rapport. There's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of information sharing, and I think that's a key in all organizations and relationships is communication.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think with our chamber, we always want to hear from our members, because that's what we're here for, is doing the things that they want to do and where they need the help, because everybody and every member needs something different. So if we don't have those open discussions and those dialogues, none of that can be accomplished. So that's what we need, people like you to be involved with the chamber, so we can accomplish that. So that's great. We're like I said, we're very glad to have you, and every time that we need help, you always step up to the plate. So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
And so then, let's talk about some business advice, because obviously Easco is very successful. I see, one of your many vans that now is at the valet, driving around town all the time with your duck. Yeah, there it is. What in your opinion has led to the success of Easco?
People. I believe that is the most important element in any business. Our customers, our internal customers, of course, that being our vendors, our employees, our customers that we serve, make all the difference in the world. And so what we want to do is make a difference in the lives of people. I would have to say that you can't do it by yourself. You might say that I'm the CEO, I'm this, I'm that. No, I'm not. I'm not a big deal. I'm not a big deal. I'm not a big shot. Yes, I founded the company. I'm currently the vice president of the company, but I'm an employee, and the customers are the boss.
Yeah.
Basically. I love this saying. If you ever see a turtle on the top of a fence post, you know he didn't get there by himself.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know how that would happen by themselves. So that's a very good point. I like that. I've never heard that before. Like you're saying, people are so important. It's the same thing with the chamber. It's our members that make us successful. It's just like for you, your customers are what make you successful. That's great. And we were talking about before, kind of some of the challenges that you face with starting the company and whatnot, but business is full of success and learning opportunities. So what are some of the biggest successes that you've experienced so far, and then also the learning opportunities?
I would say the greatest success comes from helping other people. I've helped a lot of individuals in our industry. I've helped many learn this industry, even going into business for themselves, becoming my competitor in many cases, and I thrive on it. just to be able to raise the bar of knowledge and understanding and help other people. And so that's probably the greatest accomplishment. And then technology. I'd have to say that, with the baby boomers, they may like Facebook and they may like the different technology, or they may try to stay away from it. But I think the technology is great. And so I didn't really park my car with the valet and they didn't steal it. It's technology. If we're talking about a customer and their needs for an air conditioner, they don't want one that's loud like a lawnmower.
That's not good.
And that one gets my dog's ears up. But a high efficiency air conditioning, can you hear that? You can carry a conversation on it.
Oh, yeah, just barely, which is good. That's what you want.
That's it. So anyway, my advice would be, are we?
Oh, yeah, sure.
My advice would be for anyone in business is to keep the balance. And it's been said before, you can work all day and all night, and what's the reward going to be? But keep a balance, work hard, play hard, give it 100%, be where you are. Don't just think about work when you're at home or think about home when you're at work. So keep a balanced life, give to others, and sow good seeds, and you'll reap a good harvest.
And I think that's great advice to, like you were saying, be where you are. I think because of technology, we're able to be other places when we're supposed to be, where we are right now. Facebook allows us to do that, email, texting, everything, so you can be somewhere else, but you're supposed to be at the radio show or at the networking breakfast or this and that. So being present is so important. So I think that's some great advice that you gave us. And so if anyone is needing your services, they want to be more energy efficient, they want to get their air conditioner ready for summertime because it's going to be here now. What do they need to do? How do they contact you?
70 to 80 degrees the last couple of days and tomorrow. So here we go.
Yeah.
The best way to reach us is eascoair.com.
Okay.
EASCOAIR.com. Or you can call us at 936-539-2653. Put your mind at ease. Call Easco.
Awesome. And we sure will. So great. Thank you so much, Clyde. I appreciate your time here. And that's it for Mind Your Business. I want to thank Melissa and Clyde for spending the hour with me. And till next time, this is Cassandra Roshan with the Greater Conroe Lake Conroe Area Chamber of Commerce saying so long for now and mind your business.
Hey everyone, this is Tina, your host from Retro Saturdays. I wanted to invite you to visit the Lone Star Studios here in downtown Conroe, Texas. We're all volunteers here, and we need your help in serving the Montgomery County area. Radio media is a fun field to be in. Lone Star Internet Radio serves Montgomery County with news, current events, local programming, and of course, music. If you are interested in volunteering and sharing your talents in media, go to irlonestar.com and let us hear from you. Lone Star Internet Radio, serving Montgomery County from the heart of downtown Conroe.